Hey, Will Roberts, and time for the first installment of my brand new series called How to Self-Tape or Make Yourself a Star with Your Smartphone. So here's the first thing we're gonna do. We're not gonna show you how to shoot stuff, how to light it, how to be as charming on screen as I am. Anyway, we're gonna show you the equipment first. Nothing more important than knowing that you have good equipment. Again, this is brought to you by my friends right there below and their Instagram right there. Hey, you know what? It's so beautiful out right now. Let's do this outside. What do you think? Okay, so now we're outside and it's a beautiful day. We're going to talk about equipment, okay? Before we actually get into how to self-tape and all that other fun stuff and tips I can give you, or just shooting your own thing. I don't care what you want to shoot. If you want to go viral, or you just want to shoot yourself in an audition, or whatever it happens to be, your family members, having the right equipment is absolutely imperative. Now, for many, many years, I've been doing this. Now, I started off with CBS, Fox, and PBS with the thing called a Betacam SP, which is about 150,000 pounds, and then going into an editing bay that was, $1 million. Well, nowadays, just by using our phones, man, we can accomplish some great stuff in 4K. But first, before we get to all that stuff, let's talk about the equipment. Oh, by the way, this is all brought to you by my good friends at Cole Limited, and they are just the place to go for some great equipment. By the way, look it down here, actingupradio.com. All these segments and where to get the equipment is going to be right on there, so make sure you check it out, like it, subscribe to it, send it to a friend. Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about the basic equipment. Before we get into shooting or doing anything, over the years of this technology we call smartphones, I have had literally every piece of equipment you can possibly imagine. And quite honestly, most of it has been garbage, junk, because it's just, something you get at the dollar store and you're like, wow, I can get a selfie stick and it'll be great. Now, I love selfie sticks. We'll get to that and how to shoot with them later on. And this is actually a pretty good one, but we're not going to deal with that yet. But see, it's already kind of falling apart. What we're going to talk about today is just the clamp that holds the phone, the smartphone. Now, you can probably put most of my information to DSLRs and so on if you want to, but in this case, I'm talking about smartphones and and shooting with those. I do recommend that you have, like I have here, is a 5S. And I've got the most memory on it. I don't recommend that you try to use a 15 gig smartphone and try to do a lot of your filming unless you are good at dumping a lot of that stuff. So the first things first is the clamp to get it on there. Now, this is one of the original ones I bought. It has a little screw. You can put it on a tripod, just like this one. This is what I first bought, but unfortunately, in using something like this, it's just such a difficult thing, and it's slippery. It doesn't stay a lot. If you try to put on a selfie stick, lots of things can happen. It just doesn't turn out well. So this is the first generation I got. Then there was this one that had this neat little thing that was supposed to be a light, which worked for about a day and a half, and it was on closeout. Wonder why. So, there are lots of different ones. I got this, and it had a little clamp. I don't even know where that's at. It was just a piece of garbage. It's stripped out every time I tried to tighten it. It has this little thing where you can clamp it around things. I lost a leg. So now this is a great toy for my family, my kids. They're young. So then I came upon a really cool one. I'm going to show you this. This is pretty neat. Get my glasses out here. And this one is by 9 Dot Solutions. And it is amazing, okay? See, again, you want to make sure that whatever you have that you're going to be holding your phone in place is not going to be something that's just going to be at the mercy of this cheap made in China. I'm not saying much about China, but anyway. Point is that it's on there, but it's slippery. I put it on here like this, and this goes on my selfie stick, right? And crank it down, and then you basically try to do this or a tripod and cranking it down, and then you can do this, you can aim it. I have a whole thing I do with my selfie stick, and you can do this. And you know, a lot of times getting this to get in there and stay in there, I mean, it's just like, you know, you try to adjust it and it's all bullshit. Okay. And that happens. So having the right holder is essential. And so is a good phone replacement plan. So anyway, now that I have shown that this is so important, let's talk about this one. This one is amazing. This is the rock star of smartphone clamps. It basically allows you to crank it down. It's got a little adjustment knob, and you can crank it all the way down and, you know, get it on there. And when you get it on there, it's just amazing because look, seriously, with this one, and let me uncrank it here because I got it on the volume knob. Here we go. Let's go backwards. There we go. I cranked it down, and you know what? That puppy's on there. It's not going anywhere. So again, this whole episode is about making sure you have the right equipment for the right job. Don't get a wrench to try to hammer something. And in this case, don't get a piece of garbage that you got from the dollar store. This is your investment. Now, actors, if you're doing this to self-tape, all this equipment is absolutely essential because, look, this is what makes you look good. And if you, by the way, don't have good equipment, don't have good sound, don't have good lighting, you notice how I'm well lit? We'll talk about the ring light I have maybe in one of the next episodes. But this right here, look, honestly, this is not going anywhere. Close-up view, this is awesome. This is a really great piece of equipment that has multiple areas where you can mount it, which is another key component. This has one made out of plastic. It'll most likely strip. Oh, it's like a spider. And this is the tripod that I had originally, which is, you know, not bad for cheap. Again, this is a cheap tripod that you can get and the cheap holder, and you can put it in there and it may work, but it's not very fluid because those are important things when you're filming stuff. And you know, it hits a wind or something and it's, oh man, again. So anyway, you know what, right job, right equipment. This is a great mount. It's a great smartphone mount and has different settings. I highly recommend it because it clamps it in there and it doesn't move, because this is what it's about, making sure you have the right stuff so that way when you start filming you can feel very confident about what your product is going to be in the end result. Hey, if you want to get me on Instagram, it's Will Roberts Actor. On Twitter, it's Will Roberts Acts, A-C-T-S. And of course, my friends that are sponsoring these wonderful segments that I'm trying to do, I would say go to Cole, and you'll see it right here, right there, Cole Limited. And they are have some amazing stuff. But you can see it all, and if you want to check it out, if you have any questions, you can go to actingupradio.com, see the page devoted to this series, and make it happen. Do some good stuff. Good lighting, huh? We'll talk about that soon. See you next time.